Welcome back to Investing and Trading Live, sponsored by Trading Academy. In the last segment, we covered some different strategy topics. You need rules within a strategy, steps, and a lot of people just go in the market and gamble, hope it works out. So we're trying to bridge that gap from hope to a strategy. And it takes a little bit of practice to do that. Where it starts, obviously, is you need a little bit of knowledge to do that. But knowledge will only get you so far. And that's why we have investing classes and power trading workshops right here at the Academy to get started with that knowledge on the know what, and then the know how, and then actually apply that within the markets. And that's how you build the skills actually by doing it. So if you want to get started in the markets, or if you're looking to build more consistency, maybe you need to build a retirement account, or whether it's 401k, IRA, or you're looking for another income strategy. Text the word investing to the number 210 right now for 2 seats for an investing class right here at the Academy. Or you can simply go to investingandtradinglive.com and you can pick your own date there. We have these classes on the weekends, during the week, afternoons, mornings, and evenings. So pretty much anybody can attend. Also, we're coming to a neighborhood near you. We have locations all across the metro now. I think 5 or 6 different locations. So make sure to check the landing page that you're going to get a link. So when you text the word investing to the number 210, you'll get a link, and that will give you a landing page, and then you can pick your own date there. So text investing to the number 210, or go to investingandtradinglive.com. So Al, in this segment here, I mentioned in that last segment real quick that you have all-time highs. And if you would think about it, people should have the most wealth that they've ever had. They should be the most wealthy they've ever been. But the fact of the matter is people are not. You have inflation. Things are getting more expensive. So we're seeing a lot of people that are coming to the Academy that are looking for that second income strategy, because that's actually how you build that wealth. And they want to be able to utilize the market to do that. Mm-hmm. So what are some of the techniques and strategies that the market allows for people to have that extra income strategy, to either, whether it's for income for now, or to build that wealth bucket?
Well, you have to understand that you made the comment that people should be the wealthiest that they've ever been, but they're not. There's a couple of reasons for that. One is that not everybody is in the market. We look at the top 10% of the wealthiest people. The 10% of the wealthiest people in the country own 80% of the stocks. Mm-hmm. And a lot of their wealth is due to the fact that they have been in the market. So a lot of people aren't. Over 66% of the people in this country are behind on where they feel they need to be financially. Mm-hmm. So how do you catch up? How do you do that with the ability to be able to use what you have, the extra money you have, to participate in the markets? And a lot of people think, well, I can't do that because I don't have enough money. And if you're looking at the typical way of investing, which is what most people are accustomed to, and that's just buying stock. And a lot of the companies you mentioned in that first segment are very expensive. And that's one of the problems with having a stock position, is that the cost of having enough shares to actually provide a profit for you is prohibitive for a lot of people. And the other thing is that stock investing is really more long-term. So if you're looking at increasing your ability to do the things you want to do, to live the lifestyle you want, tomorrow go into your boss's office and tell him he has to double your salary.
That might work.
Do not do that, folks. I was being sarcastic there.
I don't know, Al. Our listeners are listening to you, and they're taking your information and saying, hey, maybe we should try that.
Yeah, okay, so I may be getting some people coming by to visit me or giving me a phone call, but I'm telling you, don't do that, folks. But how else can you do it? Well, there are the people, that 10% that I mentioned of the wealthiest people, not only are they in the markets, financial markets, but they have multiple sources of income.
Yeah.
And how risky is it if you only have one source of income and something happens to that income? What if you get fired, you get laid off, you get hurt? For whatever reason, your job is gone, that your income is gone with it.
That's the old acronym JOB. It's just over broke. Because when you lose that job or you leave or whatever, it doesn't matter the circumstance, most people go broke then.
Yeah. And you mentioned, I think, the word confidence in that first segment. Well, how you have confidence in your financial situation is to have multiple sources of income. So if one goes away, it doesn't really impact you that much. Well, how do you do that in the markets? Well, because you're probably going to have to take a small amount of money to do it. You can't buy 100 shares of a stock that cost $500. That's $50,000 in one position. Most people can't do that, and you don't want to just have one position. What if you could take a small amount, maybe in the hundreds, and control something that might be worth $40,000 or $50,000? That's leverage, and I think that most people, if you want to really have an opportunity to not only generate additional income, but have the potential to create wealth down the road, you're probably going to need to learn how to trade some of these leveraged assets.
Yep.
And there's a number of them, and we teach them. We have instructors that trade these full time very successfully. And in the classes that you're talking about, in the free class that we're inviting people to, we go over those assets. What are they, and how can you achieve? How can you use them to your benefit?
Yep.
The big institutions, the wealthy traders out there, the big banks, they're all using these leveraged assets. People like Warren Buffett, you mentioned Warren Buffett before. He uses leveraged assets. So we can show you what they are, and we can teach you how to use them and help you determine which one or which ones might be the most appropriate for you to help you reach whatever your financial goals are.
Yeah, it's really coming down to be efficient with the dollars that you do have, because we had a good discussion the other day with some folks at a talk that I was doing, and some people were in there that they probably didn't they expressed they didn't have a lot of money to trade. And when we talked about it, we said, hey, well, you do need money in the financial markets. Like the old saying is kind of silly, but it takes money to make money in the market, especially because you need physical dollars to trade and invest. So a lot of people say, well, I got $100 to trade. Well, that's just not enough. You need more than $100 to trade, to be quite frank with you. So a good rule of thumb is, I don't care how much money you plan on using. Start as small as you can. You can get into the market, not necessarily the stock market, because there's really no leverage, but you can get into some of these leveraged assets that Al is talking about. If you got at least $2,000, $4,000, $6,000 set aside, you can open these accounts and trade with them, and it's all about being efficient with those dollars. So you're not actually using the whole account size, is what a lot of people think. So people do shy away from the markets because of that. So as you mentioned, we do have these power trading workshops, especially and specifically on how to use leverage properly and safely. So that way you can be efficient with whatever dollar that you plan on using. So to come into one of these classes, simply just text the word investing to the number 210, and you're going to get a text right back with a link to our landing page, and that will bring you to a couple different times and dates. You can also go to investingandtradinglive.com, and you can pick your own date there. So go to investingandtradinglive.com, pick your own date for the investing class, and we'll make sure we get a call to you as well. So that way, we're located right here in Bloomington, but just make sure to see how are you hoping that we could help you, and start that journey of what you're looking to accomplish with the financial markets. So now, Al, with these leveraged assets, you have, obviously, starting with stock, they're basically no leverage, we'll call it. They're technically 2-to-1 or whatever, but whoop-de-doo, right? It's not going to do anything for you. But you have these other leveraged assets. Explain real quick what those leveraged assets are, and then how you become comfortable doing something not new, just a little bit different.
Well, yeah, the leveraged assets that are available to everybody listening right now would be options, that's one, the futures market, the foreign exchange market. Those are leveraged assets. In other words, each dollar that you have in a portfolio can control an investment that is a multiple of it. With the foreign exchange market, for example, it's 50-to-1 leverage. So if you have a $2,000 account, that gives you the potential to control something worth $100,000. That's maximizing the value of your money. It's sort of like a business. If you owned a business and you had employees, and one employee came in every day and went over in the corner, laid down, and slept all day long, that person wouldn't be very productive for you.
I think a lot of people have employees or coworkers that are like that, I bet.
I think every company has one or two people like that.
And someone's listening right now and say, honey, we just talked about that the other day with their spouse.
You can't sleep all day long at work. You look at your dollars as an employee for you. You know, you want each dollar to be as productive as possible for you and compound over time. So learning how to use these leveraged assets is probably the best way for you to do that. Josh mentioned that it's just doing something you don't know. You haven't been exposed to it because no one's teaching it to you. It's like anything else you do. First of all, when you were born, you didn't know how to drive a car, you didn't know how to ride a bike, you didn't know how to fly a plane. Maybe you still don't, but those are things that you learn over time. A surgeon has to learn, he has to go to school, he has to be guided on how to do surgery.
Well, other than some of the leverage perks with those leveraged assets, what are some other perks you have?
Well, two of those markets, the futures market and the foreign exchange market, are open virtually round the clock, 24 hours a day.
So that gives you freedom of time.
Exactly.
So you're not stuck to just daytime hours. So that allows more people to get in the market.
Exactly.
Now, do you need to go somewhere to do this stuff, or can you do it from home or internet? How does that work?
You need to go to where your phone or your computer is. That's all you need. You can go anywhere that there's an internet, and you can trade.
So freedom of location as well.
Freedom of location. Look, technology has advanced over the years to the point where us as retail traders really have an advantage over the big players. Now, they still have some advantages. One is access to information that we don't get, or we get it too late to deal with it. So the people that are going to do the best are the people that react to that information as soon as possible. And we can do that. We can just follow right along with what these institutions are doing, because when they act based on whatever they're making their decision on, which is probably, by the way, going to be a better decision than you as a retail trader would make. But if you can just find what they're doing and follow right along with them, you don't have to do all that work. You don't have to do the analysis. You don't have to spend money on getting extra research. Most traders, most of the public, reacts based on public knowledge, not institutional knowledge. So what we want to do is just show you how to follow what the institutions are doing based on the knowledge that they kind of try to hold for themselves. And instead of listening to what you might hear on the radio or on TV, which is maybe information that's too late or just someone's opinion, why not just follow what the people that are actually moving price are doing? Because that's really the most important thing that there is when is price going to go the direction you want it to go, so you can be in at that point, and then how far is it going to go? That's the profit potential you have. And then at the same time, you have to know how to have a risk management strategy, which is the number one thing we teach.
Yep, and that's really the economic law of supply and demand. And where you find low risk, it's all about low risk, high reward, high probability entry points is going to be at or near that turn in price. Right. And that's what you need to identify, and that's how you find that zone, we'll call it, where institutions either could be buying or institutions could be selling, so then you can jump along with them. And so it's kind of like you're jumping on the coattails of the institutions, but it's like reading a price chart, which is like a story. Once you understand how to read that story, that's where you put odds and probabilities in your favor. And you don't have to be right every time then. That's the cool thing about the markets, is you do not have to be right every single time. You just need a strategy with consistency. And we illustrate and teach that strategy as far as what that concept is in these power trading workshops that we do right here at the Academy. To come into one of these classes, they're about 2 hours long during the day, during the evening, weekends, weekdays. And these classes, Al teaches these, I teach these as well. We have a good time with good folks helping people make smarter investing decisions. So to come into this class, simply just text the word investing to the number 210 for 2 seats. You're going to get a link right back, and that'll be one for you and a friend. Or you can go to investingandtradinglive.com, and you can pick your own date there. So just text the word investing to the number 210, or investingandtradinglive.com, and you can pick your own date there as well. Coming up next, stay tuned. We got a lot more to discuss on retirement accounts, how to build that, but also to protect that because markets are at all-time highs. This is Josh and Al investing in Trading Live. We will be right back.